Hey yo everybody, it's Johnny5 Alive here. Welcome back to another Park Beyond video. We got a big one here today as there is a patch 1.20 for PC. I think this came out a few days earlier on Xbox Series S and PS5. This was released June 26th on Monday, and here we are Wednesday. I want to make a video on it, covering it. Before we get into it, I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. I have done my full Let's Play, my full playthrough on patch 1.0, on release patch. So there will be things along the way that may even get fixed in this patch here today, or in a future patch, a 1.3, a 1.4. As the videos coming out, I have 5 a week coming out in between our Planet Coaster videos. My Let's Play is a bit slower because I'm only releasing 1 episode a day or 5 a week. So for all the hardcore fans out there that watch the series, watch the videos, if a Let's Play happens to release and there's something I'm complaining about or something that I'm hard stuck on, and people in the comments are like, bro, they already fixed this, you could just let them know for me that this was in fact on patch 1.0. I'm gonna try to give you guys videos like this every time there's a patch. However, I will be packing and moving, and I will be AFK for the next couple weeks. So if there happens to be another major patch, I might not be able to cover it until I'm landed in my new place. And this is also why I plowed through the whole campaign in advance, because I knew I wasn't able to kind of play as we go. So without further ado, let's jump into the 1.20 patch notes and discover if it changes anything major. The following patch has been released on PC on Park Beyond to June 26. Patches for Xbox Series X and PS5 may be delayed when compared to the hotfixes or patches on Steam. We'll update you when the console version is available. Interesting. I thought I saw the console version out like a few days ago. Well, anyways, major content updates will normally be delivered for all platforms at the same time. The team is also working to provide regular updates on all platforms. If you continue to encounter issues after this patch, please contact our friendly support team here. So I'll put a link to that here, as well as a link to these patch notes down in the description of the video. And look at all the stuff they cover. Stability, missions, exploration park, placement, modular structures, paths, coaster editor, staff shops, flat rides, terraforming, impossification mode, undo, redo, camera, UI, optional goals, balancing, visuals, controller, help center, performance, save game, audio, and other. That is a lot, and considering the game's only been out for 2 weeks, it appears like they are working very, very hard to resolve a lot of these issues. I'll probably not fixate too much on a lot of the stability, but I do know I've seen comments of people not even being able to boot up the game, so hopefully this fixed some of that. But you know, fixed a crash when filtering modules, fixed a crash when exiting game in sandbox mode. I've had at least a dozen crashes in the last 2 weeks of playing this game, and I've only played for, I don't know, 40 hours, so it's like a crash every 4 hours, something like that. Yeah, so all these crashes, basically look at all crash. So there should be a lot less crashes overall. That is the summary we can take from this. You can give it a detailed read if you want, but there's nothing here that I need to fixate too much on. Mission 1, added exception for M01 on pausing the outro. Don't know what that means. Fix multiple visuals issues in the intro sequence. Okay, that's good. Fixed offset head movement of Phil in the pitch meeting. Okay. Added more fitting animations to Sophia's reaction at the player's final choice. Hides challenge count in milestone 4 to avoid negative X remaining. So mission 3 is a very important one to talk about. Well, wait, is it mission 3? No, it's mission 4. Mission 4, which is skipped here. No fixes to mission 4. Well, if the developers are watching this, and for those of you guys who are watching this, you'll see I'm playing mission 4 right now on the channel in the Let's Play. I believe episode 2 just came out, and I think on episode 4 we get hard stuck on mission 4. If you go with the coaster choices, the hooks that you're supposed to beat the milestones on, milestone 4 in fact, of Mission 4. Those hooks have been changed. They changed the names from beta to release, and they didn't update the challenges for release. So you can't actually beat the missions in Mission 4 if you go with the coaster choices, because none of those hooks actually exist on the coasters. So you get hard stuck on Mission 4, and very disappointed to see nothing here on Mission 4. So I guess that'll come in the future patch notes when they watch my Let's Play. Fixed incorrect hamlock purchasing notifications and side character timing issues. Expanded some trigger boxes for the challenges for more tolerance. I saw some people saying that like you can buy all of the land and Hemlock can still buy land and beat you. So it looks like they still have some stuff to sort out for Mission 5. And again, if the devs do watch my videos, I honestly recommend watching my entire Let's Play if you're a developer on the team, or if you're a QA tester or somebody that's working behind the scenes on the development team should in fact watch every single one of my Let's Plays, because we run into bugs on pretty much every single mission. Not to mention people in the comments are experiencing their own issues and reporting them in my comment section. So I think there's a lot of data and information to collect from my videos alone and my experience alone. And as a QA tester, I tend to find workarounds or find the bugs quite easily. All right, mission 6, fixed holes in the game world that would, and other visual improvements. I did not notice any holes in the game world. Fixed visitor T-pose issue, corrected colors, fixed an issue with some goals not being accomplished once the requirements were filled. That's actually something they need to do for mission 6. I believe mission 6 was the one with the dam. And just an FYI, it says you have to move the Impossificator coaster or whatever it's called, Phil's coaster. You buy the land and it says to move it into an area and have 1,000 guests ride it. You can in fact buy that land, move the coaster, and have 1,000 guests ride it, and nothing happens. Because the actual trigger to completing the mission is to buy all the land, and it triggers the mission ending. So anyone hard stuck on mission 6, just go buy all the land. The last mission objective of that mission is actually a lie. You're not supposed to move the coaster and let 1,000 people ride it, even though it says to do that. You're actually supposed to buy all the land. Not only is that extremely frustrating, but it's also extremely misleading. Why not just say buy all the land? Because it's supposed to be a mysterious ending where something surprise happens and you did not expect that. But like, how about there be 2 endings? Because I actually did the objective the way it was intended. It's crazy. You'll see when I get there, but it's not fixed. It's clearly not fixed here. So by the time we do get there in my Let's Play, it likely won't be fixed, and it still is a valid bug. Mission 8, fix that caused all of Sophia's lines to trigger when placing the first platform. Okay, fixed constraint aspect ratio in widescreen of 1 shot. Ugh. Mission 8 needs a lot of looking at. Last mission in the game, and extremely frustrating. So I hope to see some, still, to this day, 1% of players have beaten this mission. That is not good. The campaign is supposed to be relaxing and fun, and most people should be able to get through it in a weekend. The fact that the game's been out for nearly 3 weeks now, and only 1% of players have beaten the campaign, which is supposed to be like a fun, relaxing thing to do, not looking so good. Exploration Park. Challenge completion check for ATMs will now include previously constructed ATMs. Okay. Fix an issue with some vision sparks not being accomplished once requirements were fulfilled. I'm having a hard time visualizing what some of these fixes are because I haven't actually run into some of them, surprisingly. A lot of things that are being fixed so far are things that I haven't noticed, and a lot of the things that I have noticed aren't even mentioned here. So it just goes to show how many multiplicative issues there are for you know, when you throw the net, the wide cast net, so wide spread of issues. Improved collision box on coaster stations. Flat ride terrain cutting shapes now move with the ride relocation. Updated land extension material parameters for more precise boundary detection. Okay. Fix an issue where you're unable to adjust grid width, path placement via gamepad. Fix an issue where area locked error message is displayed when user places decorations, facilities, or modulars outside the edge of the purchased land. Well, I'm having issues placing stuff inside my bought land. I get the area locked issue if I'm like 5 to 6 feet away from the borders of my land. You can only build like within your borders. Like you can't build right to the edge. from what I've noticed. So I feel like that needs to be looked at. But apparently people are building outside of their borders and they fix that. Stop having fun. Fix an issue where placement preview error is misaligned with the coaster of a coaster after rotating it. Groups and modular structures. I know this has been just buggy and under-tuned, and I'm sure this is going to help a lot of people build. Added overlay group to edit mode to improve visualization of which objects are in part of that group. That sounds useful. Added a disband object group action. Oh, that is so good. Oh, because I was like, how do I break this group apart? And I had to like select each object and remove from group one by one by one by one. Now if I could just disband them all and they're all just individual objects again, holy moly, why wasn't that in there to begin with? Coordinates used for snapping are now in the world space instead of the space of a special random structure. Interesting. Snap locations are no longer dependent on an object's unsnapped location. That sounds useful. Fixed overlap sometimes being detected when walls that were connected at 90-degree angles. I assume that's something to do with the snapping feature. Removed rounded in several places to avoid multiple slightly different snap locations. Structures now only snap to structures that are part of the currently edited group. Oh, I was suggesting this in the beta. This is so good. So like when you're working on a building and you're trying to put a wall onto something, it's like snapping to other objects that are outside of your group. And I was like, oh, it would make so much more sense if it only snapped things, because what you can do to help yourself snap even better is if it's like not snapping to something that you want it to snap to, you could separate them from the group and reassign them to a group. And now it's only going to snap to those couple pieces. Then afterwards, you can recombine them all together. So this is going to give you a lot more precision and smart editing. I really like that change. Fix for incorrect modifiers when moving, cloning modular structures in group edit mode. Okay, incorrect modifiers. I don't know what those modifiers are. Improve general snapping behavior of modular structures. That sounds good. Pathing. Fix issue around intersection too steep. I've run into that a lot, so we'll see how improved that is later. Fixed offset between mouse cursor and endpoint on an end gate operation. I've noticed where like the gate kind of goes onto the path and it's doing weird stuff. So maybe that's what this is referring to, some sort of behavior there. Fix an issue with the gate operation always enabling railing by default. Okay. Improved auto path placement on uneven terrain. That's good. That's really good. Fix an issue where path segment preview can be extended to a legal height and length during path placement. Add state on gamepad. All right. Fix an issue where path placement underwater is possible under certain conditions. But what if I want to make an underwater path? You could do that in Planet Coaster. I like that. I actually think that should be a feature. Or they should add like underwater tunnels. Fix visitors getting stuck or walking off the paths when removing queue segments. Yeah, that's a pretty common one that I've seen a dozen times. Oh, Coaster Editor, here we go. The big boy stuff. Increase the max height of the elevator to 200 meters. Did you fix it just not working? Fix placement issue with the elevator module. Okay, I'm having issues where like the elevator just doesn't work and the coaster gets stuck. Fix an issue where the cannon module moves far away from its position by itself after the end node was clicked. I've also had it where you reload a save and like the cannon modules are like in completely different locations. Like they're just not where you place them. So that's something to be looked at. Removed irrelevant tooltips that were displayed while off-rail track is selected. Okay. Fix an issue where carts were meeting head on due to not bouncing back and crashing incorrectly. Ooh. Fix an issue where individual carts have different speeds after getting split. That's important. Fix an issue where off-rail tracks cannot be placed in mission 1. Okay, that's problematic. For you get hard stuck on the first mission of the game. Fixed an issue where coasters are colliding with the terraformed terrain around it. I think I've seen that one actually. Fixed an issue where some modules lose track connection when MR was cloned. Fixed an issue where coaster constructed with long ride distances and ride durations are not profitable under mission circumstances. Wait, what? Okay, it says under mission circumstances. Do the developers realize that all coasters are not profitable? It doesn't matter what the duration or the distance is or what the circumstance is. Just coasters are not profitable in this game. So maybe this will make longer coasters under certain mission circumstances profitable. But I don't know if this fixes the issue entirely. How about just make all coasters more profitable and more interesting to the guests? Fix an issue where a single cart teleports on the elevator module. Well, I've seen all sorts of problems with the elevator module. Fix an issue where wings of coaster carts fail to disappear after train jumps across the ramp or cannon module when the camera is zoomed out. I haven't actually used the winged coaster because the winged coaster says like the guests won't pay that much to go on it because the seats aren't as good, which is the seats are better on a winged coaster in my opinion. You get to hang off the sides of the rails. And if they're not going to pay as much, the coasters are already not profitable in this game. So the winged coaster is like a massive deficit. So that's something they need to fix. I think the winged coaster should generate more amazement or fun or something. Fix an issue where height, yaw, pitch of the track cannot be adjusted via node after preview snaps to a snapping point. I have all sorts of issues when I'm trying to grab a node and I'm trying to pitch it or yaw it and like tries to snap to something else. I hope that's what this is referring to because that is extremely frustrating. Fix an issue where the fork module was not showing its direction. Fix an issue where the Wildmost modular ride track is not color customizable. Pretty much half of the car trains are not customizable in this game, can't be recolored. I've noticed I can't recolor the supports on coasters. A bunch of the boarding stations can't be recolored. I mean, half of the recoloring in this game on coasters just doesn't work. Whether it be the train, the coaster itself, I'm like trying to switch the colors and I just don't notice anything changing. Hopefully this fixes some of those behaviors. Oh boy. Staff, assigned effect description text to staff impossifications. Okay, so just more information. Fix an issue where you're unable to hire staff after pressing left stick button sort on gamepad without hiring any staff. Ooh, that sounds horrible. Fix an issue where staff members enter into an A pose? What about a T pose? What's an A pose? And float around when selecting them while in impossification mode, and then waving impossification mode without impossifying them. Oh, that sounds awful. Well, there's many things that need to get fixed with the staff. If I were just to list a few, janitors not cleaning up puke, janitors not being able to find puke, mechanics not fixing rides, mechanics not being able to find the rides. Oh boy. Entertainers needing like 70 entertainers to do the job of what 5 should be able to do. Entertainers are just not providing enough fun factor generation. And that, I think the staff fees are the highest upkeep cost in your entire park, mainly because you have to add so many of them because all of them are so dumb and you need like 10 times the amount that you should have because they're not efficient, they're stupid, and they're not generating what they're supposed to be doing to a point where it's costing you a ton of money. So I think they just need to be buffed overall, and I do think the upkeep cost should be reduced as well by at least like half. So I hope to see some more staff improvements in the next big patch notes, because it is a problem. Shops, fix an issue where shops are misaligned with the dynamic cursor of cloning. Okay, whatever. This does not address a lot of the issues we're having with shops right now. Don't even want to get into that. I kind of already did in my feedback video. Fix an issue where the flat ride destroyed by Hemlock's parking lot can be retrieved using the undo redo function. I wish I tried that. Oh, that's such a good bug. Why'd you go and have to fix it? Oh, that could have saved a few of my rides. I wish I tried that. Who reported that bug? How dare you? Terraforming. Added additional terrain textures. All right, that's like content. Impossification mode. Added a better way of communicating the benefits of staff impossifications. What benefits? I impossify every single staff in my park. It does nothing. I just lose more money. Communicate those benefits. First, you have to buff what those benefits are before you communicate them to us. Because I think now that you're telling us what they should be doing, and we're not seeing that as a result, it's more misleading. It's better not to tell us that it's doing anything at all, because it's not. Undo redo. Split undo continuous action with terraforming. Fix undo not working correctly with shop impossifications. Wait, you can undo a shop impossification? You can undo impossifications? Huh. Fixed an issue where undo redo removes objects in the incorrect order if a prefab is used. Fixed an issue where undo redo doesn't work for impossifications and breaks the undo redo mechanic. Oof. Fixed an issue where water was not always redone completely. Speaking of water, they need to fix how, like, you can delete a lake and you can't get it back. That needs to be fixed. And sometimes you can undo it, but sometimes you can't. So if you accidentally touch the lake, you can't actually get the water back because the body of water is too large for the game to place the water in. So I don't even know how the developers got the water in there in the first place. But yes, placing water in bodies of water is too punishing. You can only do small little ponds. Another issue I've noticed is when the terraforming, sometimes I load up my park and there's like terrain going through my boarding station. And then I try to flatten it and it like deletes all of my trees and all my theming. And I can't undo it. It'll undo the terraforming, but it won't undo all of the stuff that it deleted. So the undo key doesn't really undo everything, and that has not been fixed yet. Camera, improved precision rotation speed. Oh, that's huge. I was like, why do I gotta crank this thing like 17 times to get it turned like 45 degrees? Oh, that was so frustrating. That's a big fix right there. But somebody told me if you hold R, you get like the speed rotate, which I noticed. I learned that you could do that with the console controller, but I didn't know it was a PC feature. So instead of like hitting X on the controller to go to precision mode, it's actually better to hold R. I still haven't tried it for myself, but somebody in the comments said that that was a thing, and I trust them. Fixed an issue with the camera functions and asset selection functionality being lost on switching gamepad and mouse and keyboard after activating waving in pacification mode with a multi-selection. Well, that is such a specific fix. My God. Okay, I'll take it. UI. Holy good googly moogly. Fix pink text color for positive monthly income in coaster editor display. Fix cutoff in bullet point list. Fix tooltip for placement setting cost threshold. Polish camera tutorial. Improved icons for entertainers. I like that. Added alternate header background functionality for impossified structures and staff. Fixed alignment issues of the staff job experience window after max job is ranked. Reached. If the bar is not hidden, the percentage will be set to 100% instead of 1%. Okay. Ideal icon for staff management details. Staff management tooltip now shows the correct energy modifier. New button style for modular structures with automatic grid placement. Fixed color coding issue to cache balance tooltips. Staff impossification UI adjustments, added different tooltips for shops and rides in the 30-day profit display, removed a redundant X button displayed in the radial menu in Mission 1 when using the gamepad. Whoa, those are so specific. Fixed an issue where the land extension is not accessible via gamepad on the map Nature Heaven. Fixed an issue where the incorrect object gets selected on selecting the selected attraction list. Oh, I've actually ran into that one on like mission 6 or something. I'm like clicking a coaster and it goes to a shop. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this? That's actually a good one. All right. Yep. Optional goals. Fix an issue where the same character optional goals are triggered twice in mission 3. Fix an issue where team goals did not trigger after completing team goals associated with any of the 3 characters. I think there needs to be so many things looked at. Like one of the team goals is like build 4 successful coasters that have a profit of something. And it's like, I can't make 1 successful coaster. Some of these team goals are just crazy. And some of the optional goals on mission objectives don't even work. And some of them are like, you can't actually beat the mission because you need to beat these goals, but you can't beat the goals because they're bugged. So you have to like restart the mission and choose a different path so that they present to you different goals. And then you get a workaround. So I hope to see more from the optional goals list in the future here. Balancing. This is big. I just finished talking about this in a video this week. Adjusted visitor capacity curve. Okay, I'm assuming that just means more guests will come in if you have an increased capacity. I hope that should make things somewhat easier. Tweak job efficiency. and duty energy reduction modifiers for all staff types. Oh, that's good. That means we're gonna have to, like, I was putting like staff facilities down like every 3 feet because they just all had low energy. So that means we're probably gonna need less staff facilities, which means we're gonna have less upkeep for that, which means we're gonna generate more profit. And if they're more efficient, we're going to need less staff, which also means more profit, which therefore makes the game slightly easier. And if they are more efficient, we might have less dirty park ratings and floating puke. So this is a big one. Hopefully it's impactful and noticeable. Tweaked energy level / job efficiency modifier for all staff types. More job efficiency and between +80 to +100% energy level. I'm just assuming that means if they have more energy, they become more efficient, which makes sense. Fixed an issue where the construction costs were inconsistent for certain flat rides. Okay, sure. Visuals, okay, so added color customization to several assets and improved some textures, added water effects to Pirate Water Fountain, added steam effects to animatronics of the Da Vinci theme, adjusted materials and water fountain effects, added effects to multiple animatronics, added the light setting to scenery objects so they use smaller radiuses. Wow, this is crazy. Like, this seems to me like all of the assets in the game were like incomplete and they're just like finishing them. They just got put in the game, we'll finish them later, and now they're updating them. This is crazy. Like, why would you finish an animatronic without actually adding the effects to it? Why would you finish an asset without actually putting the textures on it? Why would you build a fountain without having water effects? So yeah, it seems like they just put them all in as placeholders and they're updating them now over time. That's crazy. Added a frame around the character captures so they are not suddenly cut off. Improved dark transition of day and night cycle. I think the night just needs to be looked at. It just looks like night is a blue hue. I really don't like the way the night looks in this game. I just like always just lock it to like noon. It's so bad to look at this game at night. Fixed an issue where the textures of lower body is missing from female entertainers after impossification. Fixed an issue where some assets in the game, world textures fail to render on all maps. Controller, fixed a detail panel button in staff screen not being accessible with the controller. Oh my god, they couldn't look at their staff screen on controller? Oh boy. Ouch. Help center, fixed third image help screen, not showing. These are just like all help tips. These are like, I guess, the little tutorial cards that you can look when you go to the help screen. So they're just improving that. Performance, removed performance impacting mesh from several maps, changed the screen fallback textures to soft pointers to save memory. Big. Fixed an issue where GPU usage is too high on starting any map. Wow. Fixed an issue where the FPS drops significantly below 10 on moving certain scenery objects around the mine shaft in mission 3. Whoa, that is super specific. Fixed an issue where the FPS drops drastically below 22 FPS on mission 2 after completing some milestones. Okay. Fixed an issue where FPS drops below 20 in an area that the camera is focused on a group of visitors in mission 6. Wow, these are so specific. These random hardware things. Okay. Save game. Fix staff and visitors getting stuck in any interaction when loading a save game. If I understand this correctly, this is what I call the Thanos snap. And it seems to occur to me like I'll crash, the game will crash, I'll load up my save, and then everyone will be stuck. You'll see some future episodes of me where I'm like, Thanos snapped my park away, and I didn't even realize that they were getting stuck. And then I like looked closer at my park and I realized everything stopped working. Probably related to a save game being loaded and all the staff and visitors get stuck. I have lost the game many times. I've lost many scenarios because of this issue, and it's unfortunate that it's fixed now when I've already done my full Let's Play. But it is kind of entertaining to watch me rage quit on those future missions when it happens. So you guys get to look forward to that. But when I finally figure out what's going on, I will make multiple saves and jump back to saves where they're not stuck. So eventually, like as we get into like missions 5, 6, 7, 8, I've already found workarounds for this issue. I end up just like saving often and jumping back to saves where the interactions were working. So you're not gonna have to put up with me like yelling about this all the time, but it will happen at the most inconvenient of times. But there's a fun episode of me learning that this is a thing. Now they say it's fixed, but there might be cases where it still occurs, right? Whatever is causing that there might be some different use cases that are not related to just loading a save game. Because I've had it where I haven't loaded my save in a while and all my AI just stops working. So I think there's more problems with the AI stopping working, not related just to loading. Anyways, moving on. Fixed flat rides sometimes getting stuck with visitors not leaving the ride, remaining in their seats. This probably is contributing to a lot of your complaining guests, because if they're stuck in their seat, they're not eating, they're not drinking, they're not going to the bathroom, and they're likely adding to that red bar of doom. So that's a good one. Fixed several prefabs having the shop core separate from the object group when loading a save game. Now, apparently, there's another issue that I kind of discovered later, but I never really talked about it. When you load a save game, a lot of like your shops that you had like set to like pressured and like, you know, like you crank up the shop to like work harder and you adjust all the prices. A lot of those could revert back to default when loading a save game. The actual like adjustments that you're making to shops doesn't seem to get saved into the save game data, which is really, really interesting and also frustrating, because if you're on the final mission of the game and you have to like reload your save and then like go back and adjust all of your prices because you need a net income of 10,000. Oh boy. And I noticed this because like I'll be playing and I'll be like, okay, like I got like 6,000 monthly income, and then like I save something, do something. I'm like, oh, I want to go back to my old save. And then it's like, why do I have like 2,000 monthly income? It's like everything got adjusted back to default. And therefore that's where your extra income was coming from, was the adjusted up prices that were not saved into the save game data. So that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. Fix some audio corruption issues on maintenance failure VFX. There's a lot of stuttering audio in this game, so I expect to see more in the future. Just like the audio just starts ripping and tearing when you're on fast forward specifically. Other ESRB only shows when the player launches the game with the zombie pack DLC for the first time. I think it's mandatory to have an ESRB rating on your launch title, and it only shows up for those who paid more. Oh, it's for the first time. Not that bad. Okay. They're like, we fixed all the stuff. Park Beyond is available. Buy it now. Will you buy it now? Question mark? That should have a question mark. I'm just teasing. But yeah. So here we go. Park Beyond console patch June 22nd. So to saying, I think they got the patch before us, but at the top it said otherwise. And I remember looking at that and I was like, why didn't the PC get the patch first? I don't really know. Okay, let's summarize all this, because I have a feeling that a lot of these bugs could have been discovered either in the beta or like by the QA team over there in between the beta and release. And, you know, like all these mission ones, if they're getting these bugs reported from players using the help and report and the forums and all that, we only had mission 1 and 2 in the beta. So all of this stuff is going to start cropping up. New issues are going to start cropping up now that the game is released. Based on that, when you are building for consoles and PS5, you have to go through the whole Xbox certification phase. So when they have like a big major patch, they got to get it like certified by Microsoft and Sony, and then they can push the patch through. And sometimes that could take up to a week. So considering the game's only been out for like 2-3 weeks now, I would imagine a lot of these issues were fixed a while ago. And then it went through certification, it got pushed, it got out. That means that a lot of the things that I was looking to see being fixed here, they either haven't been discovered yet, or this patch was already done a while ago. And now all these other issues are cropping up. So I do think this is a lot, and in the short amount of time they fixed a lot. But it also goes to show that if they would have done a full beta and ran that beta for like a month or two and gave us the full campaign and the full game and just like let us really quality assurance and like test everything, if they're able to fix this many bugs in just a couple weeks, they would have had all of this fixed for release. And then all of the stuff that I've been mentioning, all of the things that we're going to see in the 1.3 patch notes, hopefully, that really address some of the major issues, should be coming up in the next couple weeks, I would imagine. I would certainly hope so. And then the game should be in a pretty good state, a pretty playable state, and a pretty fun state. And that where people aren't getting frustrated anymore and rage quitting. And there's just so many frustrating issues with this game right now that I see in the forums, on Steam, on comments, on YouTube, like all over the place. People are frustrated. Discord, you name it. I would imagine in 2-3 weeks, most of those people's complaints should go away because of how many bugs they're cranking out. And to my point again, if the beta was ending at the end of next month, this game would have had a really smooth launch. because they would have had, you know, more positive reviews on Steam, none of these glaring issues, people playing through the campaign just having a good old time, because the fundamental core foundation of this game is fun, in my opinion. The part where we're not having fun is the amount of things that need to get fixed. And of all the things that got fixed, that's only like 20% of the stuff that needs to get fixed. And this development team is showing that they're capable of banging it out really, really quickly. And that's why I wish it was just delayed just only like a month, or the beta was a little bit longer. But it is what it is, right? It's in the past now. The game is out. They're fixing it as they go. And that's what's important. I appreciate the devs doing this many changes this quickly and like pushing to get this game to a playable state. And hopefully by the time like fall rolls around and we have like an autumn sale on Steam and the game goes on sale, everyone purchases it and says like, oh, we're having so much fun, positive review, positive review, positive review. And then when you go to Steam and you see recent reviews, it says overwhelmingly positive. That's what the goal should be for the developers now, because word of mouth will spread that the game is fun, it's playable, a lot of people are enjoying it, and then, you know, then the game has a bright future again. It just had a really rough launch, and I think they can turn it around, especially if they keep working at this rate, at this amount, at this volume. Then the next patch should show some promising fixes based off how many things I've provided in my feedback videos, how many things I've mentioned in my Let's Plays, how many things I've mentioned in today's video, and all of the things that the people are posting on the forums and all that. I suspect the next patch, 1.3 or 1.21, I don't know how they're doing it exactly. The next big patch, I'm assuming it's 1.3, should be massive. And hopefully that is out by the time I move into my new place and I'm ready to boot up the game again. And I'm like, look, the game is fixed and playable. Let's restart the campaign playthrough. No, I won't do that to you guys. I might stream the campaign playthrough and 3-star everything once the game is fully working, fully playable, and fully fun. I might be doing a stream just playing through all and 3-starring the missions. Or I'll just go to sandbox mode. We'll see what I want to do. But I want to play the game. I'm just waiting. I can't stand running into all of the bugs that I've ran into currently. I've said everything I need to say about the game, so I'm just releasing my Let's Play and waiting a month. And we'll check back in for 1.3, see what they change. If there's enough exciting changes, I'll get right back into the game and start playing again. But in its current state, it's still not that great. So if you're watching this video now going, Johnny, is the game playable because of all these fixes? My answer would be no. This doesn't fix enough stuff. But it's a step in the right direction. And I applaud the developers for fixing so many things, but some people can't even boot up the game still. Some people can't even launch the game on good computers. Some people can't even beat the campaign because of game-breaking issues. So I don't fully believe that the game is in a good place yet, but hopefully 1.3 is when I can say otherwise. So tune in for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just little patch notes here. Thought it was important to bring that out to you guys. That's my overall thoughts on it. It's good, but it's not enough. But I hope to see a lot of more important changes for 1.3, and I'll let you guys know when that happens. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.